you're not what you are until the end.
Yeah.
Same with the Punisher. The Punisher, who I thought was going to come in earlier and be a kick-ass part of the show. I was so excited to see a team up with Elektra, Punisher, and Daredevil, and we didn't even get any of that. Zero. They were always at odds. Even when they were kind of working together on the boat, they were kind of at odds.
Yeah.
And then
that was great. But yeah, I thought they would team up that last episode for sure.
And then
just popped up at a random
And then
spot.
the last episode was just kind of a throwaway. This is for the fans, but even the fans were kind of like, that was shitty. Yeah. Right? It
looked sick though.
But
I liked his costume.
The character of the Punisher, I enjoyed. I thought John Bernthal did a great. He did a good job.
He did a great job.
The thing is with me, I thought he could have been anyone. I didn't really feel like a Frank Castle vibe off him. I just kind of felt a murderous vigilante vibe off him. Like his name could have been anything, and I would have accepted him as that. Right? He didn't need to be Frank Castle. I'm happy that he was.
What makes Frank Castle though? I don't know. He kind of.
It's kind of his origin and his anger and his love for his family, and you kind of got this. Though. He kind of had it, and I do agree.
I felt it.
But I thought the origin was weak.
That is something I don't get. Is the origin?
Because the origin, his original origin, or most popular one that I'm aware of, is his family is not accidentally killed.
Yeah.
His family's a hit.
Yeah.
His entire
He's
family's
a hit too.
He's a hit.
They try and kill him.
His family is killed in the process of trying to kill him.
Yeah.
In this, they kind of hint to that might be the case, but they never fully explain it.
Yeah.
And it just turns out, for the most part, this thing was an accident.
Yeah. It's a happy little accident, like Bob Ross would say.
Yeah. Like that plot point started so strong. The first 4 episodes, like you're getting there. And then it's obviously because he's in jail and stuff, but like the very last episode he kind of solves it, but like I still don't get it. And I think it would have been smarter to have done a visual of it, that origin, just for,
or at least like flashes of it, right?
Yeah, just for one scene, just to give a nice origin of him with his family all happy, because we never see him not angry. So it would have been nice to see that he really truly was a happy person.
We got Elektra.
Yeah, we got Elektra.
We never really got his backflash.
Yeah, we got Kingpins.
Because also most of the season story was set up on the mystery of his background story. So if you just started showing flashbacks, it would start revealing more.
Or and the fact later on, they could have done
that's also probably why they changed the origin, like his origin story or his most popular origin story, is because they didn't want to go in with something that people already knew. They wanted to keep it somewhat a surprise. I don't think it was right. I do like his original or most popular origin story, and I think that's kind of what ruins the character for you a bit, where you don't see him.
Because like he's out for revenge for a reason. Like, there are people out there who wanted me dead.
Yeah.
And guess what? They failed.
Yeah.
Here, he's like, I'm kind of pissed you killed my family, rightfully so, and I'm going to get my revenge. But the revenge is a little bit bittersweet because he has no idea what to do, right? He doesn't know who to kill. Like, it was an accident.
Yeah.
There's too many people.
I don't like that either.
It's too many people for him to be angry at and get revenge for. He does it anyway, but like, I'm not saying the original movie was better, and it wasn't, not at all, but like the fact that there was only one guy responsible makes it kind of like, okay,
I like the original movie though.
Yeah, once he gets to the redemption, he chooses to continue because he's like, I'm not the only one affected, I'm gonna keep going. This is kind of like, accidents happen. Accidents are gonna happen every day, and every person who's involved in an accident, as tragic as may be, picks up a gun, starts killing people. That's not right.
The exact moment I would have done it is after that prison scene where he slays all those dudes. When he just lays down in the blood. Just do a nice flashback to when like he was, like he's just how different his life has become now.
Yeah, but I feel like that happens throughout the season anyways, where like he starts to see how much crime there is out there, and it's not so much just mobs and people killing his family. It was that there's more people out there that are doing.
No, that's why he becomes a Punisher.
Like that one scene, most of my favorite scenes that are from the season come from Punisher scenes.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes from the season with him was when he's in the pawn shop and he's buying the bullets and stuff like that.
He's barely 12.
Yeah, and you find out that the guy's selling underage sex tapes and stuff like that, and he just turns around, locks the door, turns around with the baseball bat and just beats the guy to death.
That's what makes him a superhero.
You see him at the end of the season that he wants to continue on and become this character because he wants to rid the world of just scum.
Yeah.
So for me, I felt like he did a good job, and I felt like he was believable as the character. Once it got to the end of the season, you see the full turnaround where he wants to be a vigilante and save people.
I think for us, just it would have been more impactful instead of him just describing it. Yeah, when you see it,
scene. Yeah. If you could see what he's describing, and like, because he doesn't really go into. They kind of comment on like how there's a scene where Karen Page comes out and she says, "Oh, he described the murder to me, and it was crazy. Like he basically told me what he held." Yeah, when he held his daughter, it was basically just pieces. Don't show me a little girl in pieces, but show like the top half. Show me his face. Show me the fire. Show me his like. Then again, we don't know when he really gets shot in that whole scenario.
I just want to know, did he like? I want to just see it, man. Yeah, like, I'm a sucker for origins, and that's my own personal thing. I love watching an origin story. I loved watching Kingpin's. I just love watching like Iron Man stuff. I love Batman Begins. Like I love origins.
Punisher got a little bit shafted out of that in this.
And I think they set it up so well. Like he was in so much of it that if they just showed that, it would have helped. Mm-hmm. But he did get shafted near the middle of the story and at the end. But I mean, there was a lot going on.
They could have done so much more with the Punisher, especially because I did enjoy him. I did think he was a really good character. It's just they never did anything with him. Like that whole court thing, I thought was going to be way more exciting. I was actually really excited. I'm like, finally, we're going to see them be lawyers. We're going to see the other half because we've seen Matt Murdock be Daredevil, and we've seen him be Daredevil. And last season, why do Nelson and Murdock? Why are they famous? Because they put Kingpin away. But they never showed how they put Kingpin away. They kind of showed the build up, but they never showed the actual court case. That would have been cool. Seeing Matt Murdock, Foggy in a courtroom facing down Kingpin and putting him in jail. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, here we're gonna see him. You're gonna see them do their jobs in court and get the Punisher out, or at least lower their sentence. And like Matt never showed up. Yeah. And it just made him seem. I don't think he was, because in the moments, Daredevil does his work at night. And the court cases are in the morning.
He's tired, man. You get slashed by
that's where
Yakuza.
That's where his character falls short this season. Is just like he just feels like an ass. Like he feels like unprofessional in his job, and he just feels like a bad person or friend to his friends.
They kind of actually explore that at the very end. He says to Elektra that she makes him feel free, that he doesn't feel like himself. And I think it goes to that. That's why he really wasn't into the court case. It was only when he was Daredevil when he felt free and with her. But so that kind of is
okay, but then doesn't that shut down a key part to the character? The fact that he fights crime by night and fights crime by day.
I think he was like totally like in a high of love at that point too, and like kind of like he didn't want her to, like, I don't know, they're in a bliss at that moment.
Because this isn't, they're turning Daredevil into kind of Batman where like we said in the last podcast, you don't know who is the real person. Is it Batman playing Bruce Wayne or Bruce Wayne playing Batman? That's not supposed to be the case with
Daredevil.
Matt Murdock. Yeah. Matt Murdock is Matt Murdock and Daredevil is Daredevil. They both fight crime just in different ways. Yeah. Right, and that's what makes the kind of no killing part really interesting, because he doesn't kill at night and because he doesn't kill during the day. Mm-hmm. But here he just completely neglects half of his personality, and it's a personality that I personally really like. Like when he finally showed up to the courtroom,
it was great.
That was awesome. Or how about when the DA was trying to misstep her boundaries, and Matt completely roasted her in the middle of the hospital.
Yeah.
Like, she had nothing to say.
Foggy did well at that, too.
Yeah, Foggy did that, too. But
he did it, like, 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times. I mean, this DA sucks.
Both of them are really good at it. So, like, I'm really pumped. And when I see Matt do it, I'm like, that's great. He's really good at this. Yeah. He's too good at it to not care about it. And when he said that, like, oh, I'm only free when I'm the devil of Hell's Kitchen, I'm like, you're a liar.
Yeah. Some of the best seasons from Season 1, or some of the best scenes from Season 1 were when he was trying to figure out if people were lying to him when they were trying to get cases.
Really cool.
When he was in the court and he heard the fact that one of the witnesses' hearts were beating, not witness, one of the people on the stand's heart was beating like crazy when everybody else is normal, and they find out that person's being forced into a wrong opinion on the case, and you know that just like. It's just really cool to see him use his powers in that way and also be just a good lawyer. Yeah. It's just really cool to see that. One of the scenes in this season that you see where he starts to just kind of say, forget it to his real, like him being Matt Murdock and just moving towards more being Daredevil, is the scene where he's on top of the hospital and Night Nurse comes out to him with the coffee. and she says you should go down and see Foggy, see if he's okay, right? Because he's injured at that point or something.
Yeah, he was
right?
shot.
Yeah. She says you should go, just at least just say hi and whatever. And he's like, nah. And you're like, I get it. You don't want to make him feel more attachment to you because you want Foggy to leave you and not be part of the team anymore because you just want to get that out of your life. But like, we don't want to see you to do that. We just don't want to see you not be Matt Murdock anymore. Like we're not. Yeah. We get it. It's Daredevil, but we want to get both of those, and it's just kind of
I'll say it's kind of like just a character, like it's literally him evolving. I think honestly, it's like Spider-Man 2, when he gives up being Spider-Man, you just get to see another way of him.
They're doing that, and they're not kind of closing it up, right?
I think it ended like that though. Like he's gonna now focus on being a lawyer again. Like he kind of just got it out of him.
We'll never know because, like I said, there is no season 3 confirmed. I'm sure it's in the works, but there's so much crap coming. Not crap, but like stuff coming. Like the Defenders are coming. Yeah. Right? And he's a key part to the Defenders. And unless you see that in the Defenders, we're not going to see it for a long time. So we're kind of left here with the questions of why are the Hand dead? Are they dead? Like what's going on? Why did Daredevil hear that boy's heartbeat right before Elektra decided that he didn't need a throat anymore? What's happening with Elektra? Well, like she's in that thing. And here's the thing. Here's the most ridiculous part of Matt Murdock for me this season. Matt Murdock is constantly in disbelief of anything being possible. This man is a Catholic. Number one, he believes in Jesus, so he should believe in some
Punisher
weird stuff.
Someone said that.
It was
who is it?
It was Gal. Madam
Madam Gal.
They mentioned this in the season, but yeah.
He believes in Jesus. That's number one. Number two, he lives in a world where there's a big green guy that just smashes things. Aliens, literally a couple of years ago, dropped from the sky and started blowing things up. You know of a literal God. A literal God.
A God of lightning.
Yeah. And his brother, who is also
a god
or half, I'm not sure.
No,
they're both like demigods, man.
Yeah. So you have that, and you're telling me it is completely impossible for Elektra to be more than just a person. She there's no way she's the
Black Sky, which is exactly what I want to talk about next. I have no what is she?
What is the Black Sky? I'm not sure, but I know what the case might be. She's gonna come back and she's gonna be.
Is she like super in some way? Like I don't get it.
She's really in touch with the spirit world.
Okay, because I didn't get that Nobu and all of them were just like we need you. Like what? Like Nobu killed her. Like what was her? What was so special about? Like what could she have done?
World. I'm not completely familiar, but I know she comes back. She has spiritual powers and stuff. Well, I don't want to keep coming back to it, but the original Daredevil movie, she's killed at the end by Bullseye. Yeah. And then she has her own movie where they explore that more. But terrible, terrible movie, but like they're going to do the same thing here.
Even in that movie, she wasn't, I don't know.
She's supposed to be a great fighter.
I get that.
Show it here, but whatever. She's a good fighter. And she has some contact with the spirit world. I'm not completely sure, but I'm sure that's what they're getting to.
I just don't get that she was the one who's going to take over New York with them. Like, it's just like...
I think that's the case if it succeeds. If she like agreed with them, then yeah. But they're kind of taking the hard way now, right? With her being dead, they're going to have to resurrect.
I just didn't get it all. With Stick trying to kill her, like that was confusing me.
There's so much. Why? What happened to all that blood from those kids?
Oh, that they showed that. That was my next question. I was like, what? I was like, what's in the box, man? What's in the box? What's in the box, Nobu?
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
What I also find weird is that everybody keeps telling Stick to kill Elektra so that way the Hand can't get their hands on him.
Clearly, it doesn't matter if she's
dead or alive. But that's the thing is like it doesn't matter if she's dead or alive because like even Stick is like, oh, I'm gonna kill you so that way they can't get. But like
that's what I'm saying. I didn't.
Then she dies. Nobu himself kills her and takes her, and it doesn't change their plans at all.
That's what I'm saying. It's just
doesn't make
any sense.
And then the box was just a coffin of blood for her to rest in. That's how they come back to life. Is that
you never done that before?
That's what the box was. No. I thought it was literally holding someone in it.
No clue.
Question: Season 1 ended with a literal guy. Like meditating, and all you see is the back, and he looks like huge, like jacked. Yeah. Who was that?
Stone. Stick and Stones.
Stone?
Yeah.
Where was he?
God knows. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something I was also pumped for this season. I was like, there was a couple things I was like, oh, I hope they do that, and they did it. I was like, oh, Punisher's going to jail. I hope like they show like a Rorschach scene where he like just demolishes all of them. Mm-hmm. I hope he meets Kingpin. That all happened. I loved all that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yes, the show has a lot of questions unanswered and like weird shit, just weird shit. Like, so much, like I said, the autopsy thing is never explored. Like these people are running around dead. And Daredevil even kind of just brushes it off. Night Nurse comes upstairs and she's like, "Oh yeah, those guys are like already dead when you attack them," and he still refuses to kill them. But whatever.
Yeah, I know it's all that blood, but
and then he's like, and then it just never gets touched upon, and it's just constant. But when they do something right, such as the Kingpin episode and the Punisher, and a lot of what they do with Daredevil, because he's not all bad. It's just it kind of you forget about the bad stuff. Because it's just so well done. The show in general is just really well done. The production value is there. It just, you like a lot of it. And then you kind of forget about the mistakes. But it shouldn't be.
It was very congested. Very congested.
Yeah.
But when Stick mentioned the chased thing, and I was like, whoa, because I'm not too familiar about this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, that sounds sick. He's assembling like a team? I thought we were going to see these people. I guess Stone is one of them. Mm-hmm. I thought they were all going to be at the end together. Because I'm guessing I was like, oh, the hand is like too much for just 2 or 3 of them to handle.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't see any more of the chased, which I was like, oh, but maybe next season if it ever happens.
This season was gruesome too.
This season was
that
so
stuff they were doing to
gruesome.
Stick.
Yeah, with the sticks.
Hard to watch.
Yeah.
Really hard to watch. And even like the fight scene between the Punisher.
Oh, Punisher and slicing those guys with the shiv.
Really, even the scene in the diner. Like it's like I like action scenes, but I am not always for types of scenes like that because it's hard to watch. But it's real, and I like it.
It was some Breaking Bad, like the Breaking Bad jail scene. I don't know what is.
It's just really hard to watch.
I don't know what it is with jail scenes, man, but they are just.
Because
they get gritty, man.
It's as gritty as it can get.
Yeah,
right? It's as primal as you could possibly.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what bothers me the most because whenever I saw Punisher shoot some guys, I was like, that's cool. But when you see him like stick something in another person, I'm like.
You feel it.
Oh yeah, you could like.
It was uncomfortable, but man, I was like, "Damn, this is."
It's awesome.
When he's getting drilled in the foot.
Yeah.
And they're just going to town on him. It's just I loved all the gore and everything in this. It was so sick.
Because he tortures people. Like I remember even the video game, man. It was just fun. You get to
the old school Punisher video game.
Put their head in like the fryer. Oh, I love like the shit he does.
The piranha tank was the best.
Yeah,
you're in that like sort of aquarium and you just dunk guys' heads into the piranha tank.
Like man, there's even worse we could have seen.
Yeah,
but damn, yeah, it was gritty.
My final thing on Matt for this season my final critique on him was that what's really weird, which we've already touched on, is the fact that he was abandoning his Matt Murdock life and going towards Daredevil. But at the end of the season, he tells Elektra, we should just go. We should forget about everybody and just go. So I'm like, now he's abandoning... Because the whole time he's saying he just wants to be Daredevil because that's who he is. He has to be Daredevil. And then at the end of the season, he just says, forget it all. I'm not going to be Matt. I'm not going to be Daredevil.
Be hinting to... Here's the thing. That could be hinting because there is a storyline where Daredevil leaves Hell's Kitchen and he goes to San Francisco and he becomes Daredevil and he uses his Daredevil persona in San Francisco. Doesn't work out. Yeah, but it comes back. They could be hinting to that.
But he's not abandoning Daredevil. He's just moving to another city. That's why it's really stupid.
I'm not sure. I think he thought they were going to die or he didn't want her to feel like unsure about the situation. I don't know if he was just saying that for her.
Probably, because you know what? In a situation, in a fight, considering what they were wearing, only one of them was making it out alive.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I love Melvin. Melvin's probably like my second favorite character in this whole show.
The guy who creates
everything because he's just so adorable. He's
Yeah.
just always excited.
He's the great guy.
He's like if Daredevil came to one of us and we had actual technical ability and just didn't sit around talking about like superheroes.
Oh hell yeah!
But if we had technical ability and he came to us and was like, build this, I'd be like, yeah, man, here's this. Look at this thing I created, right? And it was a funny scene because like Daredevils were decked out in his armor, literal armor, and a new helmet that could like withstand a tank rolling over it. And then
I don't think he mentions that.
and then he gives Elektra literally a sheet.
Yeah.
That's red. And then he turns around and goes, oh yeah, I also have this awesome billy club that's also a grappling hook. And Elektra's still standing there with the sheets and a side. And then she goes in the fight, and guess where she gets cut? Everywhere.
Arm again.
Everywhere where there's not the damn sheet, right? And in the end, I was like, he's like, oh, we'll make it out of this alive. I'm like, nah, man, have you seen her arms? They're all messed up.
Yeah.
Right? There's no way she's getting out of this.
But I get why they did that, because they're trying to make a design that's close to the actual characters.
But she's not at that point yet. Give her armor.
I know. I know, but like then you're risking pissing off fans. And
this ain't no video game.
It's just they're in a weird situation with the original costume. I would agree that she should just have a full protective suit like Daredevil does, but I get why it happened. I get why they had to go with it.
But speaking of Melvin, I also had a lot of issues with some of the side characters in this season. Foggy, I really enjoyed him in season 1. I know he's not a fan favorite, but I enjoyed him. I find him funny.
Oh yeah, no, he's great. Yeah, but he was a whiny guy this season.
This season he was very, very whiny. Just constantly like, why you gotta be Daredevil? And Matt would turn around and be like, you don't like it? You don't have to deal with it, right? And then and as much as like I understand where Foggy's coming from, I'm also like, yeah, man, shut up.
We understand why he would be like, hey, you're my best friend, and I don't want you to go out there and risk your life, and you're also ruining your real life by abandoning your friends and not doing your job. But it's kind of annoying that they had so many scenes of that.
Yeah, it's the same thing with
like,
Punisher and Daredevil.
Yeah.
Like, don't use guns. And I'm like, come on, man, shut up for like 10 seconds. Let them shoot a couple guys. Right? Yeah. Like, we understand they're trying to do the right thing.
Those were kind of awesome because they worked them into the action scenes that looked really cool.
Yeah.
It's like
still,
him knocking guns out of his hands.
There's only so many
really
times
cool.
I can listen to that, right? And the same with Foggy. And eventually he did give up, and that's when I started getting a little bit happier. I'm disappointed that Nelson and Murdoch is over for now.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
I like
the
that.
Jessica Jones tie-in there.
Tie-ins too. It's just really, really cool. It's a way to bring the world together, and I like it. And I like where Foggy might be going because he's turning into that corporate lawyer that he really didn't want to become. But we'll see how that turns out. And it was really cool to see that. But I had huge issues with Karen this season. She made me angry. There were moments in this season where I would go and yell at my TV because I didn't agree with what she was doing.
Really? I didn't have any of that.
You were okay with her going to the Punisher's house?
I mean, like, she was just literally Lois Lane, man. Like, she was just a reporter, like, who just wouldn't stop.
No, she wasn't. No, here's the thing. She wasn't. At the beginning.
Oh, I know. She actually wasn't.
She has no job. By the way, for those of you that don't know, you can't be a reporter just because you're really good at looking for things. You have to actually know how to write.
Yeah.
Because the article she wrote at the end, 2 out of 10.
Ooh, that's harsh.
Right? Like you need to. That's not how you become a writer or an investigative journalist. Like you have to have.
She's the investigate part.
You have to know how to tell a story.
Cool, whatever. But like at the same time, she went to the Punisher's house. A place he hasn't been since the thing that happened.
I know, he was pissed too for like a second.
I was really like when she that was another moment when I got angry with her. So Matt's trying to talk to her. He's like, we're trying to bring it down the sentence, and he's like, no, I'm guilty. And he's like, no, it's okay. We're gonna bring down the sentence. He's like, no, I'm guilty. And Matt's like, you're not listening to me. And then she pulls out a photo, shoves it in his face, and starts going, don't you want to know what happened? And I'm like, I'm surprised he hasn't like broken out of the belt loops and just beaten you with them. Like, cause like I would go nuts on you. I'm like, I haven't been to my house since that day, and you go into it, and then you grab a picture and bring it to me, and then shove it in my face.
Yeah, I know.
Right? And like shove it in my face and yell at me and tell me what I need to do about my family. Like, haven't you not seen what I'm doing? Right? And it just made me so mad. And he got mad for a second. He's like, you were in my house. Yeah. And then like two seconds later, he's like,
talk to me.
Were the dishes clean?
Yeah. I, I mean, I guess that helped for him. I guess he really wanted to know.
I could see it making more sense that he'd be like enraged with her. But I think the only reason that like he's mad at first, but then he starts to realize like maybe these people actually do care about what happened to me and my family. Maybe they can actually help me on my on my journey of trying to find out what happened with them. It doesn't come off all that well. I agree, it doesn't come off all that well, but I'm pretty sure
that was a guy. If that was a guy who did that, he probably would
kill him.
Yeah, but I think I think that's just part of the character, right? Like, it was just the perfect
He's
character
got a
to
weak
do it.
side for...
And then another thing with Karen is just, there was too many scenes of her going places and becoming a problem. Like, when she...
Like Lois Lane, man. This girl's Lois Lane, dude.
At least Lois Lane has a job.
She did too, just didn't pay well. Yeah. That's why she chose another one.
Yeah, and then like she was, I don't know. It was all right. Her character was all right. She was just there to be a love interest for 5 seconds and then instantly be tossed away. By the way, which pissed me off because she had no reason, for the most part, to be angry at Matt, because they broke up. They broke up on the sole purpose that she saw another woman in this bed. She completely disregarded the old man sitting on the chair.
I was just gonna say, I thought that was when she would figure it out.
Completely disregarded the old man sitting on the couch and walked out. Because clearly Matt's into threesomes with old blind guys and bleeding out women. Right? Like, there was no indication of anything. Like, if I walked into a situation like that, I would ask questions, sure, but I would be like, what's this guy doing here and who's that, right?
Yeah. You'd be startled, but you wouldn't just be like, oh, there's a woman in here.
You're clearly cheating on me.
I don't care about this old guy, but there's a woman in here. You're clearly cheating on me. I'll see you later, man.
Yeah, so like...
And then no discussion of it after.
No, none.
She just didn't want...
Questions. He's like, let me
he said, let me explain, and she would just not take any shit.
No,
multiple times.
Yeah. I don't even think she was mad about her relationship, just that he ignored the case, I guess?
No, that was the breaking point. 100% that was breaking point.
I think
after that they broke up.
I think it was
the case built it up, but she always defended him. She was always like, "Oh, you know how he is. He falls down a lot." Just shit like that.
I think it was more that he was keeping secrets from her. Who, yes, he doesn't know. She doesn't know that he's cheating on her because he wasn't. Technically,
he was.
No, but at the time he wasn't.
Oh, they never did they even kiss?
They did kiss, yes.
When?
Elektra or
Elektra?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they never.
At that point, they weren't doing anything.
At no point did he.
At that point, they were
really
not.
He might have cheated on her like emotionally, but like nothing physical happened.
That made me laugh. When she got slashed, or when was it on the leg?
Yeah.
Or something. Anyway, he brought her back to his apartment.
Yeah.
And he's just fucking shirtless in his like tight ass briefs. I'm like, Matt, Jesus Christ, trying to seduce.
Like, he's like thick. But yeah, it was. I think she was just more upset about the fact that she's constantly defending him in court, and then she goes to go see him to make sure he's okay because he didn't show up, and then she just finds people in his apartment that she has no clue about, and even though he says I'm gonna explain, it's just one too many secrets that he just keeps hiding from her that eventually pushes her away from him. Yeah. It is stupid that she wouldn't listen to him.
It's the hero life, dude.
And then she puts herself in the situation with the blacksmith for no reason. Zero. Like, I understood what she was doing. I just didn't see a reason why she had to do it and go as far as not tell anyone. Like, she's not... Okay, here she is. Here's the hypocritical part of Karen. Here she is getting mad at Matt for keeping secrets.
Yeah.
When clearly they're building up to her history of tragedy, which changes variations. At one point she was a porn star or whatever, and then another thing...
In this one, it's...
I think she caused an accident and killed a family.
Oh, I was gonna say in this one, it's her killing the second-hand man of Kingpin.
No. I mean her tragic history, like before, because there's
because they never really hint that there's something that happened before that.
Yeah, there is the newspapers.
Yeah, what was that newspaper? What was that?
The part when she opened the file and she just instantly started crying. She's like, "Who found this?" He's like, "Ben."
Oh, I do not remember. Oh yeah, okay, okay, now.
What was that?
Okay.
It's a hint to her past. So I don't know why. I think there's a connection between her and Jessica Jones. I think she might be the person that ran into Jessica Jones' car. Oh. And that might be
killed her parents.
But she's too young for that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, Jessica Jones was like young.
Unless she was a young driver at the time.
No.
She might have been a young driver.
Jessica Jones in that was maybe 13.
Yeah, she
could be 13 years. She could have been 16, 17 years old. Yeah, it's not unbelievable to think she could have Charlie Cox. I mean, Matt Murdock is that much older than Jessica Jones.
I could see that. No, you're right. I could see that.
The ages aren't that far off.
Okay. She could be an underage driver who was probably drunk
16 because it is in the States. It is 16.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is actually possible.
Like it could work.
Because I think they're 30 now. I think they're
Jessica's
30.
age is pretty ambiguous. You don't know if she's 15, 13, 14. I don't even know if they say her age at the time. I think the ages might work. Yeah. I'm not saying that's the case, but there is definitely a hint that she's done something because it says tragic accident.
No, yeah, I think you're right then.
Yeah, I think it might be the case. That might be the case.
That does make sense.
So we'll see.
Jessica Jones going to pound her ass.
That's.
Oh wait,
most people would pay for that, but
sign me up.
Oh wait.
But yeah, she like even that. I was like,
she was
okay.
whatever.
That's when I was most interested. There was only 2 times where I was interested in what she was doing. Is one when they're like, "Oh, we know about your past," and I was like, "Yay, let's get into this." And they left it alone, which is fine. I get it. We're gonna get into it later. And then at the end, when Matt finally decides, like, "Hey, I don't know why I'm gonna tell you now. Probably because my other girlfriend just died.
Yeah. Maybe I still have a chance with you because the other one's dead.
Round 2, 3 actually. No.
And he pulls out the mask and he's like, "My name is Matt Murdock and I'm the blindest man alive." And then we started.
Yeah, he should have been in the costume and then took off the helmet. I mean, I think she figured it out when he.
He can't walk into the apartment building like the way it's set up. He's not gonna walk into the apartment building.
Daredevil like strolling
into his office.
Yeah. That's true.
I like that he's acknowledging that his name is really cool. Like he likes all of the names he has. Like, he's like, "What do you think of the Devil of Hell's Kitchen?" And then he'll kind of like smirk, like, "That's such a good, cool name." And then someone else is like, "What do you think about Daredevil?" And he's like, "He's really cool." No.
Yeah, the nicknames worked a lot better than they do in like Arrow and like Flash even.
Arrow, the streak was the funniest one.
Yeah.
Like I wonder how soiled underwear. The streak.
Like when they have to call someone like with a cheesy nickname. But like it worked in this like every time. Like Kingpin made sense, Punisher made sense, and then the Devil made sense. It all made sense. And I like that.
And an interesting little thing was when Matt was shot with the arrow and then Elektra cut that boy's throat, which again,
that was intense scene.
That was an intense scene, and there was a point where he was like, he couldn't hear his heartbeat, even though it was like 3 feet away. Yeah. Or his breathing, because it was like 3 feet away, and it's only sometimes he's blind. And for a second, right before he died, he heard his heartbeat, and he said, "It's just a boy," right? And she slit his throat, just in case. Yeah. And then nothing. I thought that was a really interesting point. I'm like, so what? He's a boy. Why'd you hear his heartbeat right then and there? Like, what's the big deal? And
I didn't catch that. He called him he's just a boy because he was like, "Oh, holy shit, they're that young."
I think there's something to it, right? But why did he hear his heartbeat only at that moment if they're dead, right? Because he was a member of the Hand.
Oh, because all the people that they captured were young kids also, so maybe they train them at a young kid, but they never age because they're dead.
I don't know, man.
It's hard to talk on just because like they don't give you anything.
You can't really go into it. But right after that, he lies down. First of all, he gets like sprayed in the face with blood, and he looks like he's seen the worst thing ever. Like he's seen corpses for days.
He gets splattered in the face.
He
with
got
blood.
sight for that second, only to see that. Only to see that.
He had the "That's So Raven" flashback. Yeah, and then the blood just sprays him.
He got that when he got hit with the arrow. It went like his eye, like freaking. I don't even know.
Yeah, that was a really cool scene. Yeah, where it's just zoomed in on his face and he gets pegged and his eye just goes crazy.
I laughed at that. I was like, man, it was so sentimental, him and her, and she's like, "You know what? I am done." And then boom, she kills again.
Yeah, and then literally like 2 seconds later, no killing together, and then she slits the kid's throat. Yeah. But right after that, he lies down because apparently he needs a nap after he witnesses, quote unquote.
No, he was poisoned.
Though I know they are poisoned, so he lies down, and then the whole medication. He kind of has these visions, right? He has these visions of the past, the future, and you see a nun. Any inclination of who that nun is?
I know because you told me, but yeah.
No.
Without you telling me, I wouldn't have figured it out.
Guess.
Who's a nun?
Who's the nun? The nun that was healing him after his accident. Because remember, he was raised in a Catholic boarding school.
So there's this flashback scene where it cuts back to him being a kid, and then this nun comes into his room healing him from.
She's wiping like blood off him, and she's squeezing it out.
Oh yeah. Oh right, yeah. I was like, wait, that was a fly. Yeah.
So that character, that nun, is somebody. That's an actual character in the story. Yeah.
That's Matt Murdock's mom, Maggie Murdock.
But he doesn't know that, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have a clue yet.
Oh, what?
Yep, that's Maggie Murdock. So what happened?
I thought she was dead.
Nope. She ran away. She never. There's no.
Remember in season 1, just before his dad dies and goes into the fight, he calls his mom. Oh, right. So she's still alive.
Yeah, I remember asking them, like, where is the mom? I remember asking that, yeah.
She ran away to be a nun.
Oh. It's really weird.
But, like, it's cool that they're starting to roll, because when I saw it, I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, oh, there's Maggie. Like it's clearly his mom because she's like, oh, hold on, Matt, and like just kind of doing the motherly thing. And I was like this is an interesting plot point because eventually he's gonna find out.
Yeah,
it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
But overall, it's pretty good stuff. There's so many cool scenes. Like,
oh my god,
some we didn't even get into, like the meat locker. Like Daredevil literally hung guys.
No,
you mean Punisher.
Daredevil literally hung them all.
Oh god. Daredevil snapped.
The scene he's talking about is Daredevil walks into this meat locker because he's trying to follow the tracks of Punisher, and he ends up finding a cartel member just hanging on. Oh no, not one cartel member. Many cartel members dead, hanging on meat hooks, and then one still alive while he's hanging on the meat hook. It's very intense, and it's just a great scene.
It was.
Yeah, I like. And that's when we first find out, like, he's like, who's doing all this? Who are they? And he's like, not they, him. And I was like,
that's when you find out that it's just one
guy. And then you just see the Punisher
I go, what?
stand there. You just see the Punisher stand there. Like, that's the moment where I wanted to see the skull.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Well, because he's not Punisher at that point.
Take too long to.
And that is a big problem with the show, is that there's
he was in
so
jail.
much build-up.
It takes forever. I think that court stuff went too long. The second I realized that Matt really wasn't going to be an active participant in the court, I was like, okay, they got to cut this short, right? Yeah. And no, they went for, 2-3 episodes with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the end, it was completely a waste of time because he's like, basically, because he was like, I'm crazy, I'm a lunatic.
Was he like, because the cop whispered something to him, like...
That's when he decides not to go with the case.
No, like, but was it pre-planned?
I think the cop went up to him and told him before.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't show that.
No, they didn't show. They just said, just remember this. And then it was clearly the Kingpin said to the cop to tell him that if he comes to me, I'll get him out of here. Which, again, it was like, sure, it's completely impossible because he literally walked out in just like a cop's uniform. And I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah. Well, he technically could because everybody in the prison was...
Then what's the point of this
prison? What's the point of the prison there? Clearly,
I get how he could.
How
get
does
out,
no one know?
It's just weird.
Like, people are being sentenced there and sent there, and how does no one know that this stuff is happening? Like, don't they go like, oh, the other day this guy, like Frank Castle, murdered like 8 people?
Yeah. I would have loved to see.
Would no one look into that? Like, how did this happen or anything? Or were they just kind of like, oh, Frank Castle, that crazy cat?
They could explain it as a prison riot where they tried to kill him.
It wasn't a riot though. He was in a completely different wing of the prison.
Yes, but the thing is that they're all those cops that were there are paid, so they can just lie about what's happening. I'm not
talking about the cops. I'm talking about the people. There should be like someone outside should have been like, oh, like the new police chief that doesn't deserve his position because Daredevil did his job.
I love that.
Fucking should have went. Oh, that's not how a jail works. Like, that prisoner should have never been in that wing of the prison. Something's wrong here. At least one person is being paid. But no, they're just like, oh, Frank Castle phases through walls. That's it.
Yeah, not even like, wow, he's going to meet Kingpin in there. Let's not have that happen. I don't know.
But overall, the season was pretty awesome. The fighting was great. There's great choreography. There's great lines. I liked a lot of the views and the cinematography. I don't think was as good as season 1, but there's still some great shots. Like I said, that room scene where he has that red light on. Whenever he had something red light on him, I loved. And I like the scenes where he's standing on top of a church, and like there's just the little visuals. They look great. I wish my critiques would be, I wish we saw more of how his powers work, because right now they're very, very confusing, and like sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, because like I'd understand it more if it was the case of like Superman who chooses to use his powers when he needs to use them, right? It's not like his eyes, like Cyclops, it's not like his eyes are always fucking going red, or he always has a super hearing, right? I don't think Daredevil has that type of control with everything. I think he can tune things out, but in terms of what you can see, like, I don't think that changes, right? Like, it's either he sees or he doesn't, and this show can't make the decision of which one they want to do. And I think that also lies in the comics too. The comics has that problem, but I love this season.
Yeah.
Netflix knocked another one out of the park. I think they could have done the same thing in less hours. I did watch 13 hours of something that could have probably been done in 8. But you know what? I don't mind. It's all right. Hopefully they because it's quite clear this is not as good as season 1, and there's some critical aspects to it, but hopefully they take those critiques and fix it and make it better. Because I love Jessica Jones. That was great. I have a lot of faith in Iron Fist. I'm really excited for that. I'm also with you with Luke Cage. I don't see that being a 13-episode series, but we'll see what they do with it.
I just hope they can make it work, but I'm confident that they can.
Or he's gonna need a lot of support from Daredevil tie-ins. And
that'd be cool.
Like
that'd be really cool.
But I think the Defenders. I was gonna call them the Daredevilers for some reason. The Defenders,
the gritty Avengers. Yeah,
they're gonna be really awesome. I can't wait to see that. Can you just imagine Luke Cage throwing someone into Daredevil, him like flip kicking him into
Iron Fist, and Luke Cage punching him.
That's the biggest one that I'm excited for is Iron Fist. I just want to see what this guy's going to do on this show.
I wonder if they're gonna like nerf him a bit, because like he can turn people to mist with those punches, and like he's gonna be fighting normal people for the most part, but. Especially if he's, I don't know. I don't even know who they're building Kingpin up right now. Who do you guys think is going to be like the grandiose villain at the end of this?
I'm hoping Bullseye is coming.
Yeah, but he's not going to be the guy.
Probably not. I think Kingpin will hire assassins, I'm guessing.
I think it might be a combination of
I think they're going to do the Sinister Six, but no. They can't. They don't have them. They don't own any of them.
Yeah.
Unless they make like their own
They own version. None of the 6.
No, they have Kingpin.
He's not part of this.
I think Bullseye and Elektra. I think Elektra might be like a bad.
Elektra might come back.
I think she's going to be a villain under Kingpin and Bullseye. I think
for a while.
It's just very interesting because the Avengers have clear-cut enemies just like the Justice League do, but the Defenders are kind of like tiny little group that don't really have a giant. And I wonder if these guys will appear in the Infinity Wars. I have a strong feeling that they will.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
Except there was no recent reports. There was no inclination that these guys are going to end up in Civil War. I'm disappointed about that. I think these characters would have worked fine in Civil War. I would have loved to see Daredevil during the day.
I want to see. I want to see these characters in one of the Marvel movies at least.
Oh yeah.
Just
maybe Spider-Man.
Cool. Maybe
Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man might be the most likely one, but it would have been great to see Daredevil like running along, because I think Daredevil would go with Cap, and maybe Jessica go with Iron Man, because she's not really hiding her
Punisher.
Punisher actually sides on Cap. Yeah. He sides with Captain America in the storyline.
Even in the new Civil War storyline, he's siding with Captain Marvel.
Yeah, that makes sense. He wouldn't want to register with the government. Probably hates them now.
Probably. And like it would be really cool. And honestly, like I say, the early reviews are in. They say it's really, really good. I'm happy with that. But to me, it does still seem like less of a civil war and more of a civil parking lot fight. But
that sounds hype.
But I've heard we've only seen we've seen like 1% of that entire.
That's
scene,
what I've heard,
and it excites me a lot. It gets really big. So,
and I heard Spider-Man and Black Panther.
But I would have loved to see.
I could already tell Black Panther is going to be a beast in this movie.
Yeah, I cannot wait.
It would have been great to see Daredevil throw his billy club and just completely like whack Vision in the forehead
and just go like
Vision, whoops Vision's ass,
and knocks the gem out, and then no, Thanos comes down, picks it up.
Punisher's like, I have the power.
But I also understand. He
turns into He-Man.
I also understand because with the exception of Luke Cage and actually literally every other Defender except the Punisher and Daredevil, everyone else has powers. In terms of protecting themselves.
Yeah.
Punisher does have powers. He's just badass.
It's bullets.
His power is that he's badass.
He's got badassery.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're settled for today. That's pretty much it, I think.
Yep, I think so.
So all around 8s around the board. Definitely check it out. I recommend it.
Oh, yeah.
You want to shout out maybe your favorite scene from the season?
I think we talked about that.
We did, but you could say specifically like what you liked about it.
Sure. Why don't you start?
All right. My favorite scene would probably be the prison scene. Nothing gets better than that scene. Just the gore of it was it was too good. You?
Oh man.
I know there's a lot of good.
Definitely when Kingpin fights Punisher while he's chained up. Oh, that was just. He just does not give a shit, man. Even when he beat up Murdoch, like there's cops there. He's a freaking lawyer. He doesn't care, man. He does not care. I love Anything with a Kingpin, I'm down.
When Punisher's taking a bath and Daredevil walks in and gets in the bath with him, fully clothed in his uniform, great scene.
That's wrong movie.
No, 100% happened in this episode 4.
That was
near the end. Enjoy that little tidbit. I'm just forewarning you. Tons of nudity, tons. It's fantastic.
Although that sounds hot, that was the wrong movie.
10 out of 10 would watch again. All right. Thanks for joining us this week. Next week, I think we're going to be doing
some Civil War hype. Talk about our favorite Marvel movies.
Hyping up Civil War. Yeah. So
hype for that. That's
pretty much it. You can follow us on Twitter. Not Titter. Don't follow us on that. That's weird.
You could follow me on Twitter.
We're at Average Hero Pod. And tweet us. Definitely comment on us. Like us. Subscribe. And let us know what we can do to make this better. Tell us what you do like. Tell me what you don't like. If it's Nick, I'll totally get rid of him. It's no problem. And yeah.
If it's me, screw you.
We'll see you then.
Nick's going to be Bastard. I was getting into it too. It was gonna be great.
Oh yeah, I had to, that one time. It was too good.